And welcome to the 2025 episode of Drunk Cooking. We have a lot to cover this year. We've done some advancements. We have a production manager, people. So, I want to first introduce a couple of people who are going to be with us for a little while. There are our cooking buddies and mascots. I want to introduce you to Parsnip Pete. Parsnip Pete is a chocolate rabbit that we bought 6 years ago, and we've left him in his case. He only has one eye. He's turning from chocolate to milk chocolate, but he's been our mascot, and so we're going to keep him around. So say hi to Parsnip Pete. The other person I want to introduce you to is my daughter Alexis, because when we used to cook together, it was really good, and now she's moved away and doing other things in her life, and so she's going to be with us too. So here we go. Drunk Cooking 2025. The goal this year is two things: to entertain you and to give some experience to my production crew. I've hired people who want to do this to advance their careers and make a little money and put something on their resume. So I suppose it's important to introduce you to my sidekick in Drunk Cooking with Bob and Philip. Here's Philip.
Hey.
Okay, so thank you, Philip. This is Sober Sally tonight over here because she's got to teach tomorrow and I don't. So here's how this show works in case you've never tuned into it before. I'm about to open the refrigerator. I've been drinking for a couple of hours, which isn't bad, but I haven't eaten today. So I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. So anyway, I'm gonna open that refrigerator door and I'm gonna dig around and find the ingredients to make a gourmet entree. I'm not going to make a meal tonight because sometimes I'm going to make an entree and a side dish and a dessert. Tonight is just about the entree. And what's important about this entree is, the important thing about this entree is it's elegant, it's gourmet, and anybody can make it. And that's what I want to do with these gourmet meals that I'm making drunk with Philip's approval. So the first thing we're going to do in Drunk Cooking to make a gourmet meal is check the fridge. So here we go. I'm going to fling this baby open. We're going to look. Oh, look, beer. Thank you. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start rifling around in here and I'm going to figure out what we have. First of all, I'm going to pick ingredients that I like. I don't even care. I'm not even thinking about what it's going to be yet. I'm just picking ingredients that I like. So, what do we got? We got lemons. We got zucchini. Oh, by the way, this is vegetarian or pescatarian, because I'm a pescatarian, gourmet cooking. There will be no meat with feet, but there will be some protein in every meal, except for tonight. Carrots, celery, the usual stuff. All right, here's what is that? These are mushrooms, and by the look of them, they're chanterelle mushrooms, and they caught my eye, so we're going to put them on the counter. What else was in here? Perrier. Wasabi, that'll be good for an episode. How about this? Asparagus. We just bought it today. It's fresh. We can do something with asparagus and mushrooms. Okay. What am I going to do with asparagus and mushrooms? What else am I going to do with that? Okay. So we need a starch. For that, we have to go to the pantry over here, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm still thinking this through. We'll get to the starch. I think something's coming. Elephant garlic. Yeah, I want some elephant garlic. I think I want some lemon. Okay. So we got garlic, lemon, what's that called? Asparagus, and okay, we got mushrooms. All right, I need something more. How can you have drunk cooking gourmet without wine? All right, we're gonna put some wine in there. Do we need any herbs or spices? Philip, any herbs or spices? We got some dill, we got some basil, we got
fresh basil and fresh cilantro. Do we have fresh dill?
yeah.
No, we got fresh dill.
What do you want? Basil? Let's put some basil in it. Okay, here's the idea, folks. It just hit me. We're gonna make chanterelle mushroom and asparagus risotto. Risotto is an easy dish that people don't know about, that's hearty, and with a salad makes a great dish. So, second. Okay, so we're making risotto tonight. Philip, could you grab me some risotto out of the closet? I think, so when you make risotto, some broth. I've got some in the fridge. Because here's how you make risotto. It's a little bit of a labor of love. You're a labor of love. All right, there's risotto, which is basically a borio rice. It's a kind of Italian rice. So you don't want to do this with any other rice. Don't do it with regular rice. Jesus Christ. Because it won't turn out as good. And then vegetable broth, because we're vegetarians, right? Okay, so I've got asparagus, basil, lemon, elephant garlic, because I don't want to cut little pieces of garlic, so this is a really good way not to do that. We got the mushrooms, we got the wine, we got the rice, and we got vegetable broth. Okay, so how do you make risotto? Okay, the first thing you need for risotto is a good pan. It's got to have some sides to it, and it should be like maybe that high. Thank you, Philip. See, just a hard-sided pan, and we're gonna just put that on the, and then we're gonna have a pot of broth, because you have to keep the broth warm as you're putting it in. So we'll get to that in a minute, but thank you, Balls. We're gonna have 2 pans. So it's important for 2 things when you're drunk cooking, because you forget things. Number 1, get all your ingredients out. Number 2, what did I do with that other beer that I opened? Okay, so here we are. We've got all of our ingredients. When you're drunk cooking, it's really important to get your ingredients out, because you're going to forget. You're not going to remember as you go along. And if you do, you might not put them in the right order. So here we go. The first thing you need to do is get that broth going, because what we're going to do is we're going to stir fry the rice in water instead of the traditional method where you put a lid on it and let it sit for 20 minutes. We're not going to do that. We're going to bathe it in hot broth so that by the time it's done, the rice develops in a way that it's soft but a little bit al dente, instead of being mushy and gross. Okay, you don't want mushy and gross. What you want is to put this thing on high for a minute, and then when it starts to steam at the top, throw it down on a little bit lower. So here's the deal. Everything takes a certain amount of time, and while one thing's taking a certain amount of time, you can do 6 other things, right? That's the beauty of drunk cooking, is that you do multiple things at once, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put some oil in the pan, just a little, all right? Just a little. And then we're going to not start that yet, because we want it to be really hot, but not too hot, because it will burn everything. So we're going to leave that there for a minute. The first few things that you need to do are cut your garlic. Okay. You got to cut your garlic because you're going to saute that. Right? You're going to saute that for a minute. And I bought elephant garlic, so I don't have to cut up a bunch of little freaking garlics, right? You got one this big. Use it. It's the same taste. And what I do is I cut each end off it, right? Cut the top end, cut the bottom end, and then the peels just come right off, right? Aren't you frustrated when it doesn't happen that way? Stick with me because drunk cooking will teach you that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is slice that garlic into thin slices, and then I'm going to, because it's such a big piece, I'm going to just like do that with a knife while you're drinking. Ouch. Okay, there you got your garlic. All right, push it off to the side. We don't need a shit ton of asparagus. Oh my God, I love asparagus. We do not need a shit ton of asparagus in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off so we get the nice tops and a little bit of the bottoms. If you know, you know. Okay, so we're going to do this, and then here we go for that. Okay, so these are early ingredients. Another early ingredient is going to be lemon. So you want to slice your lemon, and look at what I got. You want to have a strainer because you don't want the seeds to get in it, but you want to have a little cup, which Jonas is going to get me out of that cupboard right there. Jonas is also going to get me a little thing out of that drawer on the end that's bright yellow and not in there. Jonas, lemon squeezer. Do not squeeze lemons by hand, people. Now when you're drunk cooking, you'll hurt yourself. So basically just do this and hope that it gets in the bowl. All right, so we're going to start with a half a lemon because it's going to give us some acidity and some flavor. All right, so you got those things. Clean as you go, people. Clean as you go. Every time you make risotto, you start with some oil and you fry or saute the garlic. Okay? Once you get the garlic, then you saute. No, that's not right. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to saute the mushrooms because they take a little longer. Okay? And when they're almost done, then we're going to put the garlic in and we're going to saute that. We'll set that aside and then we'll dump it into the risotto at the end. So you can use button mushroom, you can use portobello, you can use cremini. The farmer's market has great mushrooms, by the way. There are two places to get great mushrooms. Clint's operation, which is called Bushel and Peck's, and the Steady Eddie's farmer's market has a produce place too that sometimes has good mushrooms. Mostly Clint's. So we have these beautiful chanterelle mushrooms that we're going to saute, and then we'll saute the garlic, and then we'll go from there. So when you saute in drunk cooking, you have to learn how to turn the stove on. There it is. So in sauteing drunk cooking, you just turn it on high and don't let it burn. We're going to start with, like I said, the mushrooms. I'm not cutting these up because they're pretty malleable. Is that a word? Yeah, that's what they are. So I'm just going to let that pan up and I'm going to throw them in, right? So in the meantime, my broth is heating up because I want that to be steamy, steamy hot, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do with it. Here comes the booze. It's wine, okay? We're going to put wine in this thing because it has sort of a lemony flavor. You boil down all the alcohol out of white wine, and it tastes pretty good. Usually use a measuring cup. But A, I hate measuring. I hate following directions. I'm an Aquarian, and I'm going to do this my way. How do you feel about that?
You did it your way.
Yes. Philip, you're full of song. Okay, so the oil is hot. It's smoking. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's smoking a lot. And then I'm going to throw this garlic in there. I have a device somewhere in here. You can use your knife to scrape it, but do not use this side because that's the sharp side, and you'll make it what's the word? Dull. So use the back side. Throw it in there. Shake it all around. You don't have to do that, but it makes you look like a professional chef, right? And so, look, it's getting brown already. It's getting brown already. So I'm going to throw the next thing in, which should have been the chartreuse mushrooms. I put them in the wrong order. We're going to have very done garlic because drunk cooking is about doing it your way. So the broth is getting a little bit of a simmer. Oh, it's starting to simmer. And so I'm going to turn that all the way to low. And this is the point at which you want to get a ladle. Got to have a ladle. And keep it in there. So the mushrooms, no matter how much olive oil you put in here, the mushrooms are going to eat it up. But do not worry. Because the pan's going to look dry and you got mushrooms in it, it's all going to burn. No. Those mushrooms are going to expel that juice and make it part of the saute. Okay, so we got the broth going. We got this going. Once the saute hits a certain point, when the mushrooms are soft, oh, don't burn that. When the mushrooms start to soften, and brown. You want them to soften and brown both at the same time. Not an easy thing to do, people. Once you get that in there, okay, I don't want the garlic to burn, so I'm going to undercook the mushrooms because they'll cook a little bit later so I can compensate. All right, but what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put the rice in. About a cup of rice. About a cup. Like I said, I don't measure very often. I am a size queen though. So then just what you want to do is stir fry that. It's on low. Whoop. It's on low, so you're not going to burn it. But what you want to do is get that rice to turn white. It's opaque when you put it in the thing here, in the jar, but it's white when you heat it up. I have no idea why we're heating it up. I know nothing about what this does to the rice. That looks good. Now I'm going to turn the heat back up. You want the heat on medium and just above, because once you put this hot broth in, you're going to want it to boil every time. Before that, however, I want you to put some wine in it. About a quarter of a cup. And it's going to do this. And this is okay. Move it around a little bit. And then before it all dissolves, take your lemon juice, throw that in there. Let the juice and the alcohol boil off. We'll leave that there for a minute to do that. Stir it around as you're doing that, right? The onions, I mean not the onions, I didn't put onions. The garlic and the mushrooms are going to continue to cook. So that's why you shouldn't worry about them not cooking enough in that first step. All that has come out. Now, what I'm going to do is going to shock you. I am going to take this asparagus, because we got to cook it. How are we going to cook the asparagus? Well, we're going to dump it right in here. And we're going to let it boil or simmer or get al dente, as they call it. Here, that's burned. all the liquid has been boiled off, and now it's time to really start the risotto, because this is going to take probably 20 to 25 minutes, and I'm going to dispel some rumors about what you do next. The rumor is, I forgot what I was saying. The rumor is I forgot what I was saying. So take one ladle full and shake it around like this. Stir it, but don't stir it every second of the time that it's in there. Okay? That's the old thinking. You stir it, stir it, stir it to beat up the grains to bring out the starch. You don't want to bring out the starch that much, so only beat it halfway. While that's happening, you're going to add some things at the end. Ingredients that I forgot to tell you about, because it's not risotto without these two things. Grated Parmesan cheese is really important to this dish. Not shredded, not shaved, but you want grated. You also want, oh mama, my mama was the queen of butter. So is Julie Child, by the way, and she lived to be 92, so don't think that butter's gonna kill you. It's probably all the beer you're drinking. Something's gonna kill you, but it ain't gonna be butter if you play your cards right. So I'm gonna lop off a tablespoon of that for later. I have a third sponsor, by the way, I forgot to tell you about this. Fuck Cancer is a fundraiser that my friend Sean Antagney does in Minot, North Dakota. She created this event called Double D Haw. It's a Western themed booby bra thing where they have a crab boil and they raise money. So yeah, fuck cancer. Oh Jesus. You're gonna put a ladle in at a time. You're gonna let it all boil down to no juice in it, and then you're gonna do it again. Okay? So, look, it's wet, and it should be wet, right? See me shaking it like that? Shaking is better than stirring. Ask James Bond. It takes about 3 minutes per ladle for it to, and then you have to put another ladle in. You can't let it just sit there, because if you burn the kernels of the arboreal rice, bad things are going to happen to you personally. I opened 2.5 boxes of vegetable broth, and I will probably use most of that. Now, the key here is don't make it mush, but don't make it crunchy. How do you do that? Keep at that temperature. Don't waver from it. If it's too hot, pull your pan off and do this. Give it a little minute to breathe, right? If it's not hot enough, crank it. You just gotta feel, man. You gotta feel this out.
People wait too much. Jesus.
Okay, so here's what it looks like. It's kind of sloppy. It's juicy. You want that for a little while. But look, there's something else that's super important to gourmet cooking. Plating, people. Plating. All right? So we're going to go into the cupboard here. What I'm trying to go for is some contrast between the food and the plate to make it vibrant. Okay? So this is a light colored meal. So I'm going to go with black. We're going to use these black rectangular plates because that's all we have. And I think it'll work quite nicely. What the hell are you doing?
I'm stirring your goddamn rice. Come on.
Why?
Because you didn't.
Aw.
Aw.
Love you. All right. Okay. So Philip put too much water in it, and now it's got to simmer down.
Oh, no.
It's got to do what I tell Philip. It's got to simmer down, baby. After this is all done, this 20-minute process or so, we're going to throw the asparagus in because it'll be cooked enough by then. And then we top it off with some grated Parmesan cheese and some butter. Do not skip the butter ever, because it creates a silkiness, a smoothiness, and it combines with the starch in a really beautiful way that makes this gorgeous food. So don't skip on it. I know it's a little labor intensive, but it's easy. You can do this. These are easy steps. Make it. Make it and tell me how it works out so that Philip can critique your critiques, because that's what he likes to do.
I'm good at it.
Because he's good at it. And now I'm going to taste it with a spoon that apparently you have to change out every time because Philip says you get germs on it. Blah, blah, blah. Stupid. That's just stupid. All right, I'm going to taste it. All right, the flavors are coming. Oh, the flavors are good. Better have bold flavors than weak flavors, by the way. It's still too hard, and we're 10 minutes into it, and so we're probably about halfway there. Philip?
Yep.
What should we have with the risotto?
You need major food, don't you?
Well, so in looking
What do you
for...
want?
Well, no, here's what I'm going to tell you. In looking for an accompaniment to a dish like this, there's really no crunch to this. There's a little al dente in the rice, but there's no crunch to it. So maybe a salad with cucumbers or some light, fresh thing, something fresh. All right. So Philip's going to work on that while I do this. One of the things that I'm not going to try tonight is hot sauce. But let me tell you something about hot sauce. Homemade hot sauce is like the best, right? And I'm going to feature some on this show with peppers that I grew in my garden and that I made hot sauce out of. So another episode, another time. Okay, Philip has brought some ingredients. We have cherry tomatoes, cucumbers,
And
lettuce.
some fresh spring mix from Gracefield Farms.
So that seems like a pretty simple salad, but it's not, because Philip makes the best dressing ever. I also think that some crusty bread with this would go really great. Whenever the rice is done, it's done. You can't do that.
Well, you're the one who wanted a salad.
I wasn't talking to you. Now, in the end, there are a couple ways to make your, what do we make? Risotto. There's a funny way to make your risotto turn out right. If you don't put enough liquid in it, it's going to be gloppy. But if you put too much in it, it's going to be crunchy and wet. So you want somewhere in between that. I want it to be a little wet, a little al dente, but not mushy. Right? You have every bit of control of that. Spoon!
Definitely got a new spoon now.
Spoon!
Every bit of control.
Every bit of control. Once about 15 minutes starts, then start tasting it. Oh, shit. That is good. It's lemony. I'm going to put a little salt and pepper in it. Salt, by the way, is a fickle bitch. Salt can ruin things. It can do nothing, right? But if you put the right amount in, it's going to enhance the flavor of what you're cooking. This salad dressing, by the way, works on a number of kinds of salad. And when you put the shallots in, put some garlic in with it too, but don't go slicing it and dicing it and mincing it. Just smash it with the back of a knife and throw it in there because you just want the flavors to come out. Right?
Plus it makes it so much easier to peel.
Yeah. I'm going to shake it a little more so it doesn't go bad while Philip does his thing.
You want the salad.
What is in it?
Herbs de Provence.
Herbs de Provence.
And salt.
And salt. And scallions. And garlic. And olive
Shallots.
oil. And
Then that's just going to sit forever.
wine vinegar.
Ooh, lime.
You put wine vinegar in it?
Oh, white wine vinegar.
White wine vinegar goes in it.
And how about a little bit of lemon?
Yeah. Because we're not just doing drunk cooking. Apparently we're doing more of a meal than I thought we were doing. Thanks,
You
Philip.
wanted the salad.
I didn't want the salad.
You said
I said, what if you had something crunchy? With the heat off, because I've turned the heat off, I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm going to put some Parmesan in here.
From Hill's
Right.
Cheese.
From Hill's Cheese, by the way. Hill's Cheese has the best cheese on the planet. I don't care what you say. They're triple cream camembert. Come on. It's hot enough that it will melt in the, if that's what cheese does, the Parmesan style. Okay? So that's going to thicken it a little. I want it to go back to a little bit of wetness. So I'm just going to put a little more. Oh my God, this is looking good. I'll put a little more in there. That's the wet that I like. All right. That is it, folks. That is the wet. All right. Deal with it. Do it that way every time and it'll be good. And then the coup de grace is a little tab of butter. Okay. Let that melt a little bit. Throw it around so it covers everything. You can put as much butter as you want in, but I don't think that you should put more than 1/4. You know what I did. So, Jesus Christ, I'm thirsty. Okay, so, as soon as Philip finishes the salad, we're going to move to plating. All right? Plating is the most important thing. You know why? I'll tell you. Plating is presentation, people, and presentation is everything. I will eat dog food if it looks pretty, okay? So that's the point. Make your food appetizing, however you want to do it, just make it pretty. People will eat it, right? Nobody wants to see a glop of shit on a plate, which is where, when I'm not drunk cooking, I kind of do when I'm cooking, right? This isn't about that. Oh, and he's plating it on paper towel to dry the lettuce, which you need to do. Do not put wet lettuce on your salad. It'll wilt, right? So dry it with paper towel. Dry it between paper towel. It'll take enough of the moisture out of it so that when you eat it, it's not all soggy. Look at the consistency of that. Whoops. Right? It's shiny, it's a little wet, but it's not soup. That's what you want. All right. Now, we're going to plate it. So Philip's making this beautiful little simple salad. That's all you need. You don't need anything big and important. You need some texture contrast. That's what this is about. One of the beautiful things about cooking any meal is having a contrast in flavors and in textures. This has all of that, which is what you want to do when you drunk cook. So Philip is finishing off the salad, and as soon as he does that, we're going to start our plating. So I'm going to move some beer cans out of the way so we can do that. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And do this right before you serve it. Don't do this ahead of time because, again, it'll wilt and get soggy, right? Everything about cooking is how it comes together at the end, right? Everything has to come together. You saw when I started everything at a different time, and yet everything is coming together. That is a key to drunk cooking. All right, here we go. The way you plate it is, just don't make it look like a piece of shit, right? That looks like a piece of shit. But with a clean knife, I'm going to take the other half of the lemon that I didn't use and use it, because you got to use everything in these recipes, right? Everything that you can. Take advantage of your resources. So I'm going to slice this lemon about 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch thick. Try and say that when you're drunk. I'm going to slice this thinly. Okay? And I'm going to do one for each plate. So I have a lemon. You cut from the middle to one end. That's all you need to do. Maybe a little more. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it right on top of there. Does that not transform it into something from shitty to beautiful? Right? Look at that. I don't think we're done, people. Because somebody said something about basil. Since I don't have it in my hand, I'm going to put mint on it. And then I'll go back into the refrigerator because I did have some basil that I want to put in there. So we're going to go back to the refrigerator, get the basil or cilantro because I can't find the basil, and you always have to compromise and improvise. For you. Okay. Oh, we got to wash it. Philip's a clean freak. Now, you might think I'm crazy because cilantro that goes in burritos and tacos and Mexican food. Well, let me tell you something about, what are these? Are these herbs?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about herbs. If they're fresh, they will knock your damn socks off. Now, I'm only going to put one sprig on each of these for contrast to the lemon. So that looks pretty, right? I want that to look pretty. But I also want the cilantro to be functional. And my God, that salad is calling some cilantro. So we're going to just put some on here and put some on here. And there you have a gourmet meal of, what did I, oh, I forgot to put the asparagus in it. So that's on the side. All right, you can put your asparagus. See how this works? You can do it any way you want. So what I want to show you is that this food is brought to you by Third Light Brewing Company from my hometown of Manistee. They've been in business for 3 or 4 years. They have killer beers. Go see them. All right, that was Drunk Cooking. That was our first professional episode. We'll be back next time. Don't know when it's going to be. Don't know what we're going to make. But I know I'm going to be with my production manager and my baby. Have a good one, guys. Good night.
Night.